Whew. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, being a part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. You know how we roll. We just got finished doing Monday Night Football. The Lions, they look real good. The Lions look really good playing right now. The Miami Dolphins, not so much without Tua. They definitely aren't the same team, and their season looks like it's in the balance right now. Here going forward, now you're really going to see what teams are like. You know, do we know if the Baltimore Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens that we've seen the last 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks? You know what I'm saying? Is it the Saints of the first 2 weeks or the Saints of the second 2 weeks? And so on. You know, so you really just don't know. And this year, I think more than any other year, you look at this and say, it truly is a week-to-week league that you don't know what you're getting, literally from 1 week to the next. And so I've got so many Cowboy fans that are depressed. And, you know, Walker Wade, you know you're my dog. Walker Wade, you know you are my dog. But, bro, I can't be there with you on this. I can't be there with you on the pity party that this year is going to be terrible. We're in purgatory. You know, we're going to blow. If those things happen, so be it. So be it. But I am not going to sit here every day and do the woe is me. Woe is me, the Cowboys aren't going to win a Super Bowl this year. It sucks. You know what? Like, during my live stream, Jacob Sports came in and everything else. And, you know, I'm getting the whole thing of, oh, boy, you're talking smack. And, you know, the Cowboys aren't going to be any good. It's going to come back to bite you. And that may be true. That may be true. But you know what? I don't want to sit here this week and say, and spend all my time and all my energy in thinking the Cowboys are going to be terrible. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. What I'd rather do is, I'd rather be happy this week for the win that I got over the Giants. I just am. I would rather look forward to being on the Dan Saleo show and getting a little bit of payback and having a bit of fun. I would. And I'll deal with next week as next week comes. If we lose to the Steelers, you know, and things look bad, well, I'll deal with that. But I would rather have one good week and enjoy this than to just sit here and not even enjoy the fact that we did win. When I look at it right now, San Francisco's 2-2, right? We're 2-2. The Eagles, they're 2-2. The Commanders, yeah, they're a game up on us, but I don't know that they've played anybody yet. And I can look at this and say why I have some hope. When I look across the board and I see all of these young players here, and if you look at typically the trajectory of young players, okay, you'll see what happens is they typically get better as the season goes on. Michael Gallup's first half of the season, his rookie year, was not great. The second half, he turned it on. D-Law, his rookie season, he didn't have a single sack. Didn't have a single sack until the playoffs game against the Lions where he got 2. Diggs, he was okay the first half, but the second half of the season of his rookie year, he got really good. If that happens with a Cooper Beebe, who already is, you know, I don't know if y'all saw this today, but Pro Football Focus, he is number 2 this week, rated as far as offensive linemen, rookie offensive linemen, not just centers, all rookie offensive linemen. He rated out at number 2. Didn't give up pressure. second week of his short career that he hasn't given up a I don't know what the computer over there is doing. Okay? It's shutting down. Has not given up a pressure in 2 of his 4 games. He's only played 4 games. I remember quite a few times in Tyler Biadish's time here, him literally getting defensive linemen like Dexter Lawrence that could get up underneath of him, lift him up, and drop him off in Dak Prescott's pocket. Now, Cooper Beebe will tell you it's because I've got Tyler Smith and Zach Martin on each side of me. I've got great players on both sides of them that make my job easier, which he's right about that. He's right about that. But that's not all of it. Cooper Beebe is playing really good football too. He's wise enough to understand I need to give credit where credit's due. And he looks at it and he says, my buddy Tyler Guyton, he's on the other hand, he's on an island, which is true. He's out there by himself. He doesn't have somebody on each side of him that are all pros. But I feel like even when he's given up a couple of sacks in 4 games, he's had a few penalties. We could look at this where we've had situations where Tyron Smith went out and we got Chaz Green. Chaz Green, who gave up 5 sacks in 1 game, literally got a no-name defensive lineman a contract, big money, to go to Cleveland. I look at that and say, there's growth. And I'm going to say, for a lot of the Cowboy fans out there, you're going to need to have a little bit of patience and a little bit of faith. See, everybody jumped on the bandwagon of the Eagles doing all these great things. They got linebacker Devin White. A lot of Cowboys fans, oh, why did we get Devin White? You know, when they made the trade for Jahan Dotson, oh my God, look at that. They got another weapon for Jalen Hurts. When they ended up getting Bryce Huff, oh man, they got another guy on the defense. We looked at all that and said, damn, why aren't we doing those things? Well, the Eagles have been doing a lot. They've been bringing in a lot of players that have done things in other places. But at this moment right now, you can't look at the Eagles and say they're in better shape than the Cowboys. Can you? With all of the moves that they made. And I'm going to say, what's really interesting here is, as Eagle fans have been saying, hey, we got all of our players locked up. We got them all signed for the next 3-4 years. We ain't got to worry about any of the contracts. Oh, but you do. But you do. That only works, signing these guys 2, 3, 4 years down the road, if they're going to be good 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And right now, you're kind of locked in. This is one of those cases of, like, say, the Cleveland Browns. They're locked into Deshaun Watson unless they can find some dirt on him to void the contract for the next 2.5 years. Mind you, at almost $200 million. Eagles, y'all are locked into Jalen Hurts for quite a few years. You're in with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown for quite a few years. Saquon Barkley, quite a few years. Although Barkley looks like he's one of the few bright spots that you have. Bryce Huff, he locked in for quite a few years. So, yeah, it's funny how a few weeks ago, everything looked great for the Eagles. Right now, the sky is falling. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe it ends up being the Cowboys get somebody off a practice squad and they come in here and play like David Irving did for a while. Or maybe somebody like Chauncey Golson gets an opportunity and makes the most of it and has some plays. And maybe the Steelers aren't as good as we think they are. And maybe the Lions in Dallas, where Dallas has kind of owned them, maybe the Cowboys get the win. You don't know. And that's why when I see a Cooper Beebe out there who is busting his ass, when I see a Mozzie Smith out there who is, I've got so much ammunition for the Eagles. Oh my goodness. Mozzie Smith, they talked about how good Jordan Davis is. Well, Mozzie Smith didn't get any tackles, didn't get any assists the first 2 games. But the last two games, he's had the same production that Jordan Davis has had all season. It's a start. And that's why you can't give up on the Cowboys just yet, in spite of Jerry Jones. So, I'm a little tired. It's pouring down rain outside. The river is supposed to crest sometime around midnight. And it's going to rain tomorrow too. And we're fortunate. We've had a lot of damage, a lot of trees down and power outages here. But in comparison to what a lot of people are dealing with in multiple states, I don't ever remember a disaster, a hurricane, stretching across so many places. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember. Usually it's like, boom, it's like Katrina. It's mostly like, Louisiana is the bad spot, or, Florida. It's like one side of Florida. We're talking about Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. It's insane how many people have been touched by this storm. And you have to send them your prayers. And not only that, if you can help people out, this is where we, as Americans, used to be the ones that helped each other out. And I hope we can get back to being that kind of country again, because there's a lot of people that are going to need help, serious help. And this is where the 90 plus people that are no longer with us, I bet you on Wednesday they didn't think that Thursday was going to be their last day. And that's why you always have to make the most of every day and let the people you love know how you feel about them. Because you might not get the chance again, people. And I love you all. And God willing, I hope I wake up tomorrow to be here with you. Peace.